Hey everyone, welcome and thank you for joining us for this virtual event. One of the reasons why we've opted to present information about Carry to Full Term this way and to invite you to support us is because of COVID. We need your help. Usually around this time, we're preparing and getting ready for our Life is a Gift end of year fundraiser for this new campaign, which is now called Every Baby Deserves a Home. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. Welcome. Thank you for being here and thank you for lending your time. One of the things that I want to share with you really quickly is to let you know that in this season of COVID, we have not shut our doors. The calls, as a matter of fact, has increased. The calls have increased. And the need for housing, the need for stability, the need for security is great. It's urgent. And mothers are needing the support of people to come alongside them to help them feel safe. And it's not necessarily because of COVID per se, but it's the situations that has been, the situations have been magnified. Abuse, we've seen an uptick in the number of calls that we're getting from women and families in need of shelter fleeing abusive situations. We've seen an uptick in the number of women that are calling as a result of job loss and the challenges that presents. And then also incredibly, we've seen an incredible uptick from women and families who are just surviving from poverty. We've also seen an uptick in numbers with moms with children, not necessarily pregnant. And so one of the things that we've done in response to the calls, because we can't take everyone, but one of the things that I'm going to ask you to join us in giving as you view this fundraising event that we've put together just for you to be able to see and hear from the moms that are here, hear from professionals in the community. And I just want to invite you once again to enjoy the speakers. You're going to hear from speakers who are going to tell you about the importance of getting prenatal care early and throughout the pregnancy and the cons of what will happen when prenatal care is not administered early and throughout the life cycle of the pregnancy. You're going to hear from professionals who will share the importance of the mental and emotional and behavioral well-being of all of us, particularly for moms in this vulnerable category, and how it's important. And in response to COVID and being restricted to at home and being homebound, how that also plays a role in triggering responses that are already sensitive. You're going to hear from community leaders who will share with you how and why they support this organization. And then brace yourself, because you're going to hear from moms in their own words as they share with you what they've accomplished, where they've come from, what they've benefited since being here. And as a result of that, the invitation from me is very clear. We cannot do this by ourselves.
I heard about Carry to Full Term when my grandparents were throwing me out, and I looked up maternity homes and I found Carry to Full Term. It's been difficult, but it's really helped me grow up. So when I first got here, I was nervous and scared. I didn't know what was gonna happen. And so far, it's been pretty good. I mean, the schedule's hard to follow, but I've accomplished getting my GED and going to college to get my associate's degree. I had my son, he's now 16 months. Since I've been here, meeting other moms, it's been difficult with other personality types. Okay, so going to college, I've felt pressured a little bit and inspiring to other moms so they can get their life together as well. I never thought I was going to college until I came here, and I wanted to be a labor and delivery nurse. If I met somebody that was pregnant and homeless, I would recommend Carry to Full Term. It really helps you get your life together, and they help you with your baby, and they provide a lot of stuff for you. Like financially, they help you, and a roof over your head. To all the volunteers and donators, I want to thank you for everything you've done for me and my son, Keegan. And thank you for putting a roof over our head and food and diapers and wipes and all that stuff.
We cannot do this by ourselves. We don't, the answers to gratifications aren't quick. It takes time to invest in lives to see generational changes, and that's what we're doing here at Carry the Full Term. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the program.
That most people aren't aware of at Carry the Full Term. The first expression that a woman that is admitted into this home, I had no idea that a home like this existed. And over the few years, the conversations that I've had with people, that's usually the general sentiment, especially from people who had at one point in their life been in situations where they needed support and housing. So I just wanted to share that. It's not 2 years of saying, I finally found somewhere safe and secure for me to reside. No, it's 2 years of literally undoing 29 years of surviving. It's 2 years of pouring in life skills. It's 2 years of teaching them healthy money habits. It's 2 years of teaching them to save money. It's 2 years of getting rid of debt. It's 2 years of teaching them how to have a savings account. I'm going to tell you a real life story. We had a mom that finally saved $1,000. And she said, oh, I feel like this program has helped me so much. I have enough money saved for me to make it on my own. $1,000. Because the idea of having $1,000 in her account, she felt so rich. It's something she had never experienced before. We've had a woman sit here in our office, and she came in and she said, I just want to talk to you for a second. And with tears in her eyes, she said, I've never been in a home with women. I've always grown up around women. But this is the first time I've had a healthy relationship with women. And the reason is primarily a lot of our volunteers are women. We encourage men to volunteer because we have fathers in the picture, and they really need the same support as the women. So that they can have, you can't strengthen up your right arm and then your left arm is, can't even pick up a 2-pound weight. So we want to, strengthen the mother, and we want to strengthen the fathers too. So we really need mentors for men to volunteer. So thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time out to come in. I'm going to prepare to introduce our speakers. To introduce our first speaker. It's Mr. John Philippone. He is a friend and supporter of Carry the Full Term. He does tremendous amount of work here, and really only when we put it on our Facebook page or share it with our community does anyone know what he does here. If our moms break down on the road, he picks them up and tows them back. When our moms get cars, he services it at no cost. When our moms need tires, he's there. And one of the things I want to tell you, when our third baby that was born here, for her birthday, John sponsored the entire birthday to include her cute little tutu dress, which has been the most memorable tutu dress anyone has seen here, and we always talk about the dress. And That's when she took on her title of princess. But leave a deep mark and a long-lasting impression on the women here. And I want you to come and share with everyone here your story. So everyone give a round of applause to John Philip.
Hello, everybody. As Franny said, I'm John, a local business person, a shop across the way. And how I became involved in Carry to Full Term was one of the ladies that helps here, Liz, had posted a picture of a little baby and she needed a birthday cake. And I just fell in love with this girl, Amana. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, Amana. And I saw her eyes and I knew I had to help. So I bought her a birthday cake and I've been helping ever since. And I helped the moms, as Franny said, with their cars. And so I do what I can, you know, and I try to do it silently because I don't want to make a big deal of it, but I wrote a few things down. You know, there's a lot of good people in this area that do fantastic work helping people. But Carry to Full Term speaks to me in a very powerful way. And it feels good to be a part of the family, even in my very little way that I am a part of this family. I like that. As a father myself, one of my daughters is here with me now. I have one more. I know how challenging it is to raise a family, even under the best of conditions. And I know that the best of conditions can be pretty rare. I remember when I was a lot younger, the first time I heard the old African proverb about it takes a village to raise a child, I thought that was metaphorical. You know, people would benefit from different viewpoints and experiences. And now I know it's quite literal. It definitely takes a village to raise a child sometimes. We all need help. Nobody can do it alone. And it's a pretty daunting and frightening task to think about raising a family alone, especially if you don't have a support group to help you, should you ever need one. I've been fortunate in my life to have a support group, and I lean on it plenty, and I know how critical it is for me and for my children. So to be able to give back in some small way and to help the other parents with the safety net, it's deeply rewarding. It's rewarding for me, and I know it must be rewarding for Franny and everybody involved with Carry to Full Term, because they're here for these families and these children every single day, and they're the real heroes. So thank you for everything you do. Thanks for putting smiles on the little faces and joy in their heart. And thanks for helping the parents, the mothers, because they're oftentimes the most vulnerable. And to give them a little bit of comfort that comes with being able to walk through life with a safety net. It's in case they ever do stumble. So thank you for letting me be a part of this. I'll always be there for you, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
When I first heard about Carry to Full Term, it was an opportunity to do many things I need to move forward with my life, for the focus of my children, with my relationship with God, the housing, stability, having an environment that's safe for my children to go, where I don't have to wonder what's going to happen to them from exposure. It's a family and God-seated organization, and that's important to me because it's helping me get my relationship back where I need it to be. And the whole Carry to Full Term mission is important to me because having the healthy and happy babies that we have here wouldn't happen without it. Before I came here, it was let me find the fastest A to B route to make an income for my children. And with here, I'm able to make more
concrete long-term goals that are more tailored to me, like the artistic side where I'm not just let me go through a trade school and get working and making money. I can actually step back and look at myself and evaluate where I want to be in 5 years, 10 years, and what I can do here to get there. Oh, I like to draw, I like to paint. It's part of my self-care routine, but as well, like, I'm talented. It's a gift, and I like to share that. Doing hair, I can do flowers. I really like flowers, trees, plants, way aware of what they are. And I just want to be able to apply that in my life and use it to better myself and maybe help others along the way. If I was in the beauty industry, then I could focus on helping other women achieve their self-confidence to where mine is going, step by step. Sometimes just having a fresh haircut can make you feel like a whole new person walking out the door. There was one mom that had chemical burns on her hair and scalp from a hair color, and me being able to give her scalp treatment and trim her hair, teach her how to better take care of it. Just seeing her blossom is like food for my soul. If I met a mother or expecting mother that was struggling to find her place, then I feel confident that directing her towards this program would help her find pieces of herself necessary to grow. Not just exist or live, but to grow in that life. I would feel honored to carry myself with the program further than just a place to be. I feel like it's very much part of who I am to spread the mission of Carried to Full Term, that there are more than one option for you. If you feel like you only have one choice, you need to look into more options, and there's room here for that. I grew up in a strict Catholic environment where anything extreme is basically frowned upon. But also, myself personally, in my journey, I had to face terminal illness. When you overcome that, you feel more empowered to be yourself without the ramifications of judgment. And, you know, in my younger years, I was taught to follow a very Old Testament God that's judging and maybe not punishing, but that's kind of the way that I was taught. But now I know that the New Testament God is very accepting of everything and just wants wants what's in your heart to be real and vulnerable and transparent. And that's more important to me, being my true self rather than in a box that someone else put me in. So I can wear my tattoos and feel like it makes me more approachable to people who are not on the same side of that line as me, to where they don't feel judged by me like maybe some other people have done. I want to say thank you, because I wouldn't be able to be here without that. And it's so much more than what you see from the outside. In here, we're growing relationships with our children, with other mothers, learning things about ourselves through those relationships. Being encouraging as a woman is important to me, and I'm able to demonstrate that and get both sides feedback where we do that for each other here.
Dr. Anastasia Williams. She's a pediatrician who has been voted on numerous occasions in the top 10 doctors in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. She's a speaker and an advocate and a service to her patients. Dr. Anastasia also is a mentor to young people, especially students who are interested in pursuing the medical track. She spends her time encouraging them to ask questions and to not be afraid to seek out the answers that they need as they explore their path into medicine. She believes in advocating and being a voice for people who are not often heard, and as a result, she champions the cause of marginalized populations and people who are existing without insurance and below the poverty level. She's going to share with you today what she's observed in her profession, the importance of receiving early prenatal care and all the benefits to that, and all the other the pros and cons for women who, especially in the population group that we serve, who often do not receive prenatal care, sometimes the entire 3 trimesters of their pregnancy. So give a warm round of applause to Dr. Anastasia Williams as she comes and share with us her expertise and support to Carry to Full Term.
Good evening. What this organization, Carry to Full Term, what it does is so important and dear to my heart. I know Franny from church. We've fellowshiped together. We've been in Sunday school class together. And these are really interesting times in our country. There's a lot of talk about what people should and should not do. But Franny is amazing because she doesn't just talk about the sanctity of life. She works towards preserving it in a loving, empathetic manner, a supportive manner. We all know that being healthy, having a healthy baby, certainly I'm a pediatrician, and so I take care of the babies after they're born. Having a healthy baby starts with a healthy parent. And what Carry to Full Term does is really work with people, women who honestly I admire so much because they've already shown that they are truly resilient. They are in a circumstance where there may not seem to be clear answers, and they need help. That's how they end up here. But to be in a position where you organize things to not only help these young ladies prepare to have a healthy baby from the standpoint of getting them to their prenatal appointments, making sure they take their vitamins, making sure they get the vaccines that are needed to keep the babies safe after they're born, so the physical health. But they approach the spiritual health part too, making sure that they understand that they are part of a big system that's full of love and support with no judgment, to help them grow, to meditate and find peace. And we all know that right now especially, and I'll tell you really quickly, I know I only have 5 minutes. We all know that one of the things that we're all struggling with right now, but especially if you're an expecting mom, is your mental health. I was really going to say some more words about mental health, but my dear friend, Dr. Karen O'Brien is here, and that's her area, so I'm going to leave it alone. I won't go into it too much. But I will say that I share in the anticipation of expecting something that's going to completely change your life and your existence. I found out 3 months ago that my son, who is a pediatrician, that he and his lovely wife are expecting their first child. And I never thought that I would be so happy and so excited about it. You know, it's more exciting than when you're expecting your own, you know. But they're both physicians, and they work in New York City at Columbia University. She's an OBGYN. And she's pregnant, expecting, but they were having to take care of tons of patients with COVID. They were in the thick of it. And the anxiety that can cause, the fear, you know, as a pediatrician taking care of patients, every time I have asthma, every time I cough or wheeze, I'm like, oh my gosh, do I have COVID? Oh my gosh, do I have COVID? And so these are difficult times. We've all had to adjust. We've all had to change. We've all had to sacrifice some of our freedoms for the betterment of the community. And I love what Carry to Full Term does here. They're helping others learn how to help themselves. I love the story that you shared, Franny. Where's Franny? I love the story you shared about the garden. Where, you know, I love metaphorical things. That's how my family is. How the ladies were going out, there were seeds that were planted, they were watering on a regular basis this garden, and at the end of it all, they had these 3 big watermelons. And of course, I see that as exactly what Carried to Full Term is doing here. You have seeds that have been planted, you're watering them, providing them the support that they need physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and I have had the utmost pleasure to take care of those beautiful watermelons. You guys are doing a fantastic job. This is a worthy cause. I love you. I love what you have here. And thank every single one of you for being a part of that village. It does take a village. That's why we're here. We're here to love, not to judge. We're here to actually live out preserving the sanctity of life. Thank you.
Recently, we've been taking in mothers with children who are experiencing homelessness for a variety of reasons. And I feel it's very incumbent on me to share that there's no pattern of the type of family that we help. I always want to share this particular example because to invite you to come into the world that we exist in rather than just do the onesie-twosie stories. But here at Carried to Full Term, we've helped numerous women who with husbands and children and a stable environment. But the reason why they're experiencing homelessness is because now they're carrying a 3rd or 4th child, and the pressure to meet the needs and to the economic demands of taking care of a larger family. Sometimes those wives and moms are asked to terminate the 3rd or 4th pregnancy, and if she opts to carry, then the option that she's given is to leave the home, and then she has to move away from the family. And those tend to be some of the harder situations that we are trying to work through. But I just want you to know that at Carried to Full Term right here in your neighborhood, these are some of the ways that we're helping women. We're walking alongside them, we're investing in them, we're helping them talk through their goals, and they have a lot of goals just like we all do. We're helping them navigate ways to take care of 1 or 2 children. We're helping them navigate ways to take care of 2 young children or big age gaps, working and problem solving and figuring out what it takes to invest in her life to become efficient and independent. And that doesn't happen by herself. We're helping moms become secure and stable. We're helping them break cycles. We're helping them to prepare for a bright and a hopeful future. And they're preparing themselves to change the pattern of the generations that's coming after them. So join us. Thank you for being here. If you're pressed for time and you need to step away, I'm just going to give you our website. There's also a link with this video that you just click on it and you could give. You could join us also at carriedtofullterm.org. carriedtofullterm.org. There you'll be able to give in set incremental amounts, or you could choose the other option and you could submit and donate as much or as little as you'd like. I also want to share with you just briefly, we have put a contingency plan in place should a family contract the virus, and that's going to be a tremendous financial strain on our organization. We're new and we're almost a little over 4 years old, and in the 4 years that we've been here, we've admitted over 30 parents. We've taken in more than 36 children. We've helped countless families in the community, and we've helped countless families outside of the state of Virginia. And so when we talk about the work that we're doing, we're not just specific to our community, because the needs are great. People are in need of support. People are in need of help. And whether you could, because of COVID, we're not able to have the volunteers come into the house as we used to. So that's why we're asking and inviting you to give of your donations, make a financial contribution to enable us, one, to continue to keep families housed, but to help other families who are impacted by the the COVID virus and the pandemic that we're currently experiencing. And I know it's a hard ask. Some of you are still figuring out your budget as you're transitioning from maybe a 2-income household, or you're now on a steady income and your budget's really tight, and I'm here asking you to help us. But if you could give however much that you can give, this is the way that we are going to be the community that will cure the illness of feeling unloved, to the abandoned, feeling unwanted. This is how we're going to create the change that we seek, and we could do that right now.
Just a bigger and deeper and broader understanding of the work that happens and goes on here at Carry the Full Term. As Dr. Williams said, we have Dr. O'Brien here, and she is going to be our next speaker. She's going to talk about the benefits of preserving and taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental health well-being. She's a distinguished doctor with Novant UVA Health Systems, and she's also the executive and senior director of the behavioral health department at Novant UVA Health Systems. Give a round of applause to Dr. O'Brien as she comes and shares with us the benefit and the importance of taking care of your mental health.
All right, so first of all, I just want to be able to say thank you for wiping off my microphone. And I feel really honored to be able to be here tonight for several reasons. One, I am a mom of twin boys that are 10 and a half. So this phenomenal organization resonates with me because I agree it takes a village, and I know that personally. Two, that this is in our local community. I live in Haymarket. So to have this here for our community, to have this here for our young women, definitely moves me. And I really love what this organization does, is that it is inclusive. If you heard Franny talk earlier, it is about, our number one thing is to love. And that is what they do. For me, at Novant Health UVA, I care for mental health patients, both children, adolescents, and adults. And I'm proud to say that Dr. Williams is my pediatrician. So what she says is absolutely true. It is the best. But caring for adults and caring for mothers, it is a very anxiety-driven time to be pregnant and all the worries that you may have in a very secure, stable situation. But when you are in a crisis situation, whatever that may be, and you do not know where your home is or where you're feeling safety, that anxiety can really cause physical problems. People often use the word mental health and they have a stereotype in mind. They think of terms like crazy. They have an image of someone that is not necessarily what it is. So these are stereotypes. What's really important is that everyone needs to care for their emotional health. Most especially now, as Dr. Williams said, in this very trying time, and most especially when you are pregnant and you're caring for a young baby. Your emotional health is a direct reflection to your physical health. They're symbiotic. You can't care for one without caring for the other. So with Carry the Full Term, what I really enjoy and respect about them is that they care for their guests, and they care for not only their physical health, but their emotional health. And part of that is learning how to have a relationship, learning how to communicate, learning how to be able to regulate your emotions and understand what are good relationships and what are negative outcomes. So again, I just am really proud to be a part of this community and very excited to be here tonight to celebrate and honor this amazing organization. So thank you so much for all that you do for our community and for our young mothers. Thank you, Franny. Thank you to all of you for being here tonight.
It's amazing to watch moms and women transition and to see that light bulb come on as they accomplish goals. But I tell you, when you see those little babies take their first steps, when they discover their hands, when they start walking, when they see a familiar face, the confidence and the comfort and the security within which they live here, we get to experience all of that. And we try to do our best to share as many videos and pictures with you just to invite you into our world. But in this state, we're asking you to please give as you're comfortable giving. And I will also challenge you to stretch yourself and to give beyond that what you're comfortable with as an investment, because you're willing to say, I want to invest in this life. And it's not just having the babies be born and that's it. We have these babies for up to additional 2 years after their birth. So with your help, we're pouring in goodness, we're pouring in love, we're pouring in support, we're pouring in stability, security in the face of the people who are here. And these are babies who in this generational cycle, they get to break what their moms have already been born into. So thank you for joining us. Please stay tuned. Carry to Full Term again is a home for pregnant and moms of children where we have housed them for 2 years, and we pour into all of them the things and the resources, the love and care, the tools and education, training and support they need to become independent and self-sufficient outside the walls of this home. And they will become your neighbor in your community, your child care provider, your banking assistant, your cashier at the local family store. And so we're just asking you to join us and help our moms become the people we want them to be for ourselves, the people we want to be, and be the change in our community that we seek.